Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever it is across the 7 seas you are hailing from. This is the week that was, where we review our trade setups from the previous week that have closed here at Sabre Trading Systems. Excuse the ambient noise if you hear anything. I am not in my trading office. I'm on vacation visiting family in sunny Florida. Although it was 65 degrees yesterday and everyone was complaining about how cold it was. It was like 65. It was 28 degrees when I left the house yesterday. So here we are. So we started off the week getting hit by the Kraken, as we like to call it. We don't like using negative psychology terms such as losses. We just say we fed the Kraken. You know, you got to feed the Kraken in order to get some of that treasure. Kind of like don't kill the golden goose, right? You got to feed the goose to get those golden eggs. So the week opened up with the dollar Norwegian krona, and we had a beautiful looking level right above shark-infested waters, which is one of our prime locations to find our booty. And it went right in there and just got knocked out. So the second trade of the week was also hit. We had a level on a level trade there. We had the Euro Australian dollar, and we had a sculling environment. So we were really looking forward to going long. And the first sculler worked beautifully as we reviewed last week, and the second sculler did not. So the market went ahead and turned there. So we fed the Kraken once again. Okay, now things are taking a turnaround. We got a nice 5R trade over here. And if you're not familiar with the concept of R, go ahead and look at one of the videos I have linked below on return on your investment. We always want to use at least a 3-to-1 R. And here we had close to 6. So this was great. So we had another level on a level, and the first level just escaped us. Price never retraced to that level. And the second level worked beautifully right there on the pound Swiss franc. Next, we had the New Zealand Swiss, and that also was in a beautiful sculling environment. So the market kind of had a little shakeup in the beginning of the week, and that's what happened. We just saw a couple of our trades take a hit, but overall, we're in the net positive. That's the beautiful thing. No matter what your trading system is, you're never going to win 100%. You just want to make sure that you're benefiting more than you're donating. And in the market, you want to be a reaper, not a sower. Next, we had ourselves the Euro Swedish krona, and that one gave us a nice 3R return. We had what we call a consolidation area, and it worked beautifully. Price went into that level and zinged right on up to a level of fresh supply where the sellers were waiting to push the market back down, and that's indeed what they did. And then we had the FTSE, the UK index, and kind of like the S&P 500 in the United States. Here we had a drop-based drop in a sculling environment again. As part of our risk management system, we never take a trade unless we can get at least 3R out of that trade. And when we have a target, in this case we had some fresh Sabre demand over here, we were not able to get 3R. So we had to push our entry up a bit. So that's what that stands for. And once in a while we might miss out on a trade, but I could literally count on one hand how many times that's happened so far this year. So it doesn't happen often, but it's one of our safety measures, so we never get into a trade unless we're going to get the reward out of it. Next, we had the pound Swedish krona, and we had a shark-infested zone up here with some supply off of it. Again, one of our beautiful zones, but this is going to be our target as opposed to our entry. And we had a nice Sabre level of rally-based rally, and it gave us a good level of demand. It met our 13-point checklist, and price retraced into that and hit our target again beautifully. Next was the pound yen. We had here what we call ourselves a gauntlet, or in this case, a ghost gauntlet, where we see a massive move where there's a high probability of orders being somewhere within that move. And in the very next candle, it traced in, and 4 candles later, hit our target. So that was a gorgeous level. These levels are sometimes hard to find because we don't get alerts to these. It's very difficult to set an alert for what we call a gauntlet. But when they happen and we're able to get into these, say in the 4-hour candles, they tend to be very profitable. Next, we have the Hang Seng, the Hong Kong index as well, and that one gave us a beautiful 8R. All right, we had our drop-based drop off of another shark-infested area, and it went right to our target of Sabre supply, and look, boom, down to the pip almost. It hit that target and rebounded off of that like a stone skipping off of a pond. Then we had silver against the Australian dollar. And this was another example of a gauntlet, a massive move that went through a high probability area of orders. And in the very next candle, retraced and hit our target a couple candles later, netting us a nice 3R once again. Next, we saw the Aussie Swiss franc, and it's about time that we fed the Kraken. We had a nice run of profitable trades, so we had to give back a little bit to the market for the privilege of being able to drop our nets and scoop up some of this treasure. Next, we had the dollar on the South African rand, the dollar ZAR. So here we had a drop-based drop again. We had a flip gauntlet. And this is really cool where we can turn lemons, an initial losing trade, into lemonade. followed by a winning trade. But in this case, we fed the Kraken again. No harm, no foul. We want to fatten that boy up so we can get the rewards. And here we are, the French index. Again, we had a drop base, but in this case, rally drop, what we call an explosive Sabre move, and price retraced into that zone and hit our target, giving us a nice little bump after those two losses. The euro on the Zealand also had a ghost gauntlet level there. It zinged on through, but this one turned into fish food as well, where we took care of that Kraken. All right, good boy, show me the money. And boy did he, twice in one day, which is rare on the 4-hour candles. We had ourselves a gauntlet trade and a Sabre long. Price careened its way into our Sabre level, which we had to lower again because of our 3R risk reward ratio. And this is one of those rare instances of what's called a fade trade, where you get into one trade and your target for that trade is actually the entry for another trade, and price went down there as well. So we entered long and exited, and then we entered short and exited again. Both of those trades turning into winner chicken dinner. Next, on the Euro Swede, we had to give back some of the gold that we got from that earlier trade earlier in the week, followed by natural gas. Again, we had a club haul, which is basically an environment where it looks like the trend is going to change. And in this case, it didn't. It turned out to be a little bit of a hiccup. And we could have secured a little bit of R out of here. But at this point, the market told us, nope, the trend is going to continue to go down. It's not going to turn around. So we got out for a small loss. We didn't go all the way to our target. And this is one of the nice things about being able to understand exactly what the charts are telling you. The charts tell you when to get in, when to get out, when to be in a buying environment, when to be in a selling environment, when to get out of a trade because it's not going your way. And most of the time we get that indicator that the trade's not going to go our way while we're in profit mode, but once in a while we don't. But at least we were able to secure almost half of our stop loss and not take a full loss on that trade. Next, we have the pound CAD, which also gave us another beautiful level off of a ghost gauntlet. And then finally, last but not least, the pound yen. We had another gauntlet trade, which gave us 3R, our default on those trades. So all in all, a great week, securing 35.2R. So if you look at those numbers, we had 12 winning trades, 8 losing trades. So we had a 60% win rate with a total R of 35.23. All right. Now, if your R is 0.5% of your account, that would have been a 17.6 net gain in your account. Now, of course, we're not going to be in front of our computers 24 hours a day. So if you only caught half of those trades, that would be 8% net, almost 9% net. You do that week after week, month after month, year after year, that's going to make the difference between you and 95% of all the other traders out there in the market. And just to show that we're not resting on our laurels, we are in a position here on sugar. So in sugar, we have what we call a club haul trade, where it looks like the trend is going to change. So right now, we are in this trade and the buyers and sellers are duking it out. So as soon as one of them exhausts all of their order, we're going to see the market go one way or the other. And at this point, if you're in this trade, I wouldn't feel offended if you decided to just move your stop to break even at this point, because there is a battle going on, and we're just going to wait and see where the market decides to go at this point. We have 2 trade setups on gold, one at one of our beautiful little consolidation levels, and it's a level on a level. So we'll see what happens. If price breaks through that first one, the momentum will be significantly weakened and has a greater chance of working on the second one. Time will tell. So tune in next week for that one. Speaking of which, if you want to get our weekly updates or daily updates, join our sailing list. Put your email here at sabretradingsystems.com. Feel free to follow us on any of our social media platforms. And if you would like to join, feel free to start your 14-day free trial, where you'll get to see how we use our step-by-step rules-based methodology to find these opportunities in the market, just like the ones you saw here today. If anything, I encourage you to also get a free copy of my book, where me and 20 other co-authors talk about getting yourself into the right mindset. I think the hardest thing about trading is becoming a trader and having that trader's mindset. So good luck on your journey. I hope to see you trading alongside with us. Have a great week.